in March last year for the very first time, and it was thought up, it was conceived about 6 months prior to that. So, it was June, July in 2016 that we conceived it. So it was very fast, but we're so excited about this style because it really does incorporate all the best bits of Vionic sandals all into one shoe.
Well, we've sold over 70,000 of them. We are offering it at $69.95, 4 easy payments on this one. If you're shopping with a major credit card or Q card, $17.49 per month will get this home. Now for the colors. We're offering it in the navy. We actually have this beautiful floral, this white floral, which we're calling white floral, but honestly, I'm seeing more, I don't know, it's a floral, whatever. It's like a watercolor, whatever you want to call it.
It's bright colours.
Bright colours.
It's the white bright colour.
It's Vionic's version of floral.
But just very quickly too, when you get these home, it may be a slightly different colour arrangement on there. It just depends how the leather's been cut. So
then we go into your pink, which is a fuchsia. Then we have the black floral, and that's a little bit more limited. Next, we have the gold cork, which is also a great neutral, but also very limited. And then we have your white, which is all white.
That's right.
Then on the top row, we have the pewter, which again is a great neutral if you like the metallics. We have the red, which is like sports car red. We have your tan leopard, and that is basically a black sandal with a tan leather accent, because the rest of it's really black. And then we also have the all black with the patent trim. So again, this is one of those shoes that really is the DNA of a true Vionic sandal, but it's just elevated a skoonch.
Exactly right. I mean, how this really started was our CEO, Chris Gallagher. He, and g'day Chris if you're watching, I always like to give him a shout out every now and then. He was actually in Europe and working with some of our designers, and while they were sort of travelling, he said, what if we could create something that had incorporated all the best bits of our sandal style. So, you know, what's been our most popular sandal style? The Tide 2. So what if it looked like the Tide 2? What if it was, you know, our heels and wedges were always popular? What if we made it as a platform wedge? And what if we had a dual density footbed? Because our dual density footbeds have always been really popular. So while he was talking, our designer was actually sketching something. This is what the final sketch looked like. And so what you've got there is the look of the Tide 2. You've still got that great platform wedge. So it just sits just under 2 inches. So it's 1 7/8 inches, but it's a platform. So you're sitting level. So there's no pitch to it.
There's no pitch.
And then we have a firmer density EVA around that arch area. So very important for helping keep your foot supported. And then a softer density EVA around that big toe joint area. So really, it's a fantastic comfort feature that you really do appreciate when you start to wear it.
And despite what it looks like, it is really lightweight.
Yeah,
so it's not a heavy sandal. Actually, I don't think it weighs any more than my Tide 2s.
No.
And again, you get just that little lift. And I love the Tide, and it's my shoe that I wore today, like I said. But sometimes you need just a little extra length. You need a little extra height for that maybe pair of jeans that you don't want to hem. Or that little extra lift for that maxi dress that might be just hitting the ground. Look how great it looks on the foot with a little skirt. Love it with the little crop pants. This is one that if you are going to the beach or the boardwalk and you happen to be out and about, if you get a little splash from the seawater or the ice cream cone, you can rinse it off real easily. Don't have to worry about being too careful with them.
Exactly right. And very quickly, just on the sizing on this as well, if the Tide 2 fits you and fits you beautifully, go with the wide width on this particular item here. So it's available medium and wide, but if Tide 2 fits you really nicely, go with the wide here.
Got it. All right. Well, we're going to go over and play around this time with Amy.
That's right.
And talk about really the alignment, which most of us don't. I don't think if you stood in the front of the mirror and actually looked at your foot to see how your foot is aligned and really think about like what that's doing to your day and to the rest of your body and how off you are. If after you saw that, you would be shopping with us for these shoes.
Exactly right. I mean, the body's really cool because it will always compensate. If something's a little bit out of,
Right.
out of where it should be, it will compensate somewhere else. But what we want to make sure is that you have that foundation really from the ground up. And we'll talk about the knee this time because this is a really great example to show you that where the foot goes, the rest of the body's going to follow. So you'll notice here, Amy, on the hard, flat, unsupported surface, that foot rolling over to try and meet the ground. Now look at the lines on the foot and look at that dot on the knee. The dot on the knee is going off in one direction. Those lines on the foot are going off in a different direction. So watch what happens to that dot on the knee when I realign Amy's foot. So now you can see how that line's nice and straight, but so is that dot on the knee. So it's nicely aligned with everything else. When I let Amy go, you can see everything twisting in because when the foot's out of its alignment, that causes the lower leg to internally rotate. That puts the knee out of its alignment. So look at the difference. And this is what's really cool with Vionic is that you don't have to wait 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to see the difference or feel the difference. You really see that difference straight away. So as soon as that foot's gone onto that science, gone onto that podiatrist design technology, everything is now nicely aligned.
And because it is basically forcing your foot into the proper alignment, we do always recommend that if you're not used to wearing this kind of shoe, then to kind of wear it a little bit at a time so your foot gets used to being in the correct position.
That's right.
Because for me, I had no problem. I think my feet were like, thank goodness, Jane, you finally got it.
Where have you been? Yeah.
But for those that are just starting out, don't wear this to the airport the first day that you get the shoe. If you've got a long day and you're going to be on your feet. Gradually work your way into it, but once you do, it's so great to have that kind of feel. So now 400, did you say, Sean, 400 pairs? 500 pairs spoken for. And again, great colors. Whenever you see this many colors in something, know too that it started out with maybe 4 or 5 and you guys loved it. So of course we went back and we said, you know what, Vionic? We need some more colors because our viewers that love this kind of shoe and love the way it fit, they want it in more than one color.
That's right.
I have my Tide 2s in like I said, like 15 different iterations. And of course I'm gonna have to replace my Tide with the sequins because my grand dog decided to take a little,
Oh, see, we don't protect against active dog.
Active dog is not covered. So yes, we had a little dog issue and my grand dog took a little chunk out of it, but
Naughty dog.
I digress.
Right.
Certainly, multiple pairs is not unusual when there's something that you really love. So
that's right.
Continue to place your order for this one. That's the elevated platform called the High Tide, a 286611, 4 payments of $17.49. So also wanted to let you know that the men's version of the Tide, the Rider, is also available. This is the men's orthotic thong sandal. It's now clearance priced at under $50. Shopping with